Good morning one and all. In today's video we are going to learn what is the structure of a web service. The first point and the structure of web service, it is about the processing directive. This when we are creating ASP.NET web service, then we have to write down the processing directive with the symbol as the @ symbol at the top of the file. So this @ symbol and with this directive, it will specifies that which language we are going to use for this creating web service. Then it's a code behind the language, and then program name, that is a class name. So here this example you can see it indicates the directive of that particular web service. You know that the web service it will be created with the help of the XML. Now we will see which are the different attributes are present. One is a language, second code behind that particular web service, class, and whether it is a debugging or not. So here you can see this is @ symbol. So web service language is equal to C#, code behind program1.asmx.cs. ASMX that you can identify, it is a web service, and .cs, then class will be used as in a program1. Now language, it is an optional attribute here that you have to specify. So the first attribute is a language, C#. By default it understands the language as in a VB.NET. So to override it, we have to write down this one into the web.config file. Then code behind is that when you click that particular ASMS file, then you are writing the code for that accessing this web service. So write down that code behind is equal to, now here program1, it is the name of that class, so program1.asmx.cs. Third attribute, it is a class attribute. It will indicate that which class we are using. So here the project is a my VS demo, it is in a project, and a class, it is in a program1 class. So we should write as in a web service class is equal to my VS demo dot program1, and if it is that class, it is within not within the namespace, then we have to we can specify the class directly. The second way, that if it is exist within it, then simply write down the program1. If it is not specifies within that particular project, it is outside the project we are accessing, then we have to write down the project name also. Then debug, the third, the next property as in a debugging. So whether we are debugging it or not, if we are debugging, then we have to write down debug is equal to true, otherwise it will be considered as a false. So these are the some properties of processing directive. So this is one part of the structure of the web service. Next is about the namespace. When you are using a web service, we require a namespace. Namespace that you have to write down namespace for web service as in the system.web.services. That namespace we will use. These namespace, it consists of different classes, and these classes are useful for creating the functions of the web service, and that will be accessible in your application. Now we have seen that a single web service can be used in a different heterogeneous application. So which are the different classes? So these classes are the web method attribute, web service attribute, web service attribute, the third class, and the fourth class, it is of the web service binding attribute. Now it's some information is given over here as a web method attribute, then web service attribute, and a web service binding attribute. Next point, it is in a public class. Now this public class, these four classes are present. Web method attribute, as we have seen, web service attribute, and web service binding attribute. So the first one is a web method attribute. See, it's a constructor. So this web method attribute, it is used for the calling remote web client. It can access this web method attribute, and these are the constructors that you can create an object with these constructors. Web method attribute with no parameters. Then second one, boolean we can pass. Third one, boolean and the transaction option. transaction option, it determines if you are using a transaction, then this constructor can be used. So this last two constructors, if last three constructors, sorry. So whether we are using transaction or not, it determines that which constructor we have to use for this web method attribute. So basically we will use the first and the second one if the transaction we are not using. Then which are the different properties? These properties, buffer response, then cache duration. We will see in the next point also this cache duration, enable session. So it is about the buffer response related to the buffer, whether it is buffering or not. Cache duration, that we have to set the duration for which that particular data will be held in the cache. Description, it will give the describe about this web service method. Enable session, it will determine that whether the session it is enabled for the XML web service or not. Message name, we can give the name of the message. Transaction option, just we have seen that whether the transaction option it is set as an enabled or it is set as an disabled. Type ID, it will decide the type of that particular attribute. Then methods, these are the different methods, functions that you can use along with this web method attribute. This is as an equals, whether the two objects are equal or not. Then get hash code, we can get a hash code of it. Then we can get a type of that particular object. Match, we can do the matching. What is the default attribute you can identify. So these are the different methods. Cloning, that you can copy the structure of object from one object to the another object, that you know the clone concept. Clone means it will copy object containing which are the attributes, which are the methods. That structure will be copied to a new object. So it will not copy the data, it will copy only the its properties and the functions. Then to string, it will convert that particular object into the string format. When you want to print that message, print that object data into your browser, then it should be in a string format. So this is about the first one, that is a web method attribute. Web method attribute class. Just like that, we will see the next, that is about the web service class, then web service attribute, and the web service binding attribute. Another public class, it is a web service class. Namespace that we know, system.web.services, and its assembly, it is present in this DLL file, system.web.services.dll. Now what is a constructor? Now this web service, it is also one of the base XML class, and it give direct access to ASP.NET web objects such as sessions, applications. Now constructor, single constructor is there with no parameters, default constructor, the web service, and it initializes the instance of new web service. So you can create an object with only this web service constructor. Now which are the different properties? The properties, one is the application property. You will get a current application object. Container, here you can get a container for this component. Context, so you can get the ASP.NET context, HTTP context for that. Then design mode, it will decide the design mode. So by default design mode will be retrieved. So here you can see some properties are the default properties set for your web service will be retrieved, and just you will get that information. Events, even the list of events, which are the events are present for this component, this class. Server, get the server utility. Session, get the session information of the current request. Site, it is a site component. So the SOAP version, it will give the version number of the SOAP protocol. User, it will retrieve the ASP.NET server object. So this is for just retrieving the information associated with this web server. The next one, methods. Methods are dispose. Now the dispose, dispose is just like a close method that we have seen in database. So dispose means you have used some objects, resources, and then we have to release these resources. For that, dispose is used. So one is with blank, so no any parameter within that, and second one, it may return the boolean. So these are the two constructors for the dispose. Then equals, it will again equalize whether the objects are equal or not. Same like the previous old one, it will get the hash code. Hash function will be used over here. Get the service, get type. You can go it in detail. So I'm just going through all these properties and methods. Then clone, that member wise clone means it will clone the object, copy the object from one your previous old object into the new object. So toString, the same one that you can convert into toString. Same like that, these are next two classes. One web service attribute and another one web service binding attribute. For that, just go to the Microsoft website, and there you will find out. I will show you web service attribute. So in Microsoft website you will see the documentation, and just go through this documentation. So web service attribute class, again this class contains some properties, functions that you can go. This is a constructor, web service attribute. So default constructor, no any parameter. Fields, which are the properties. These are the properties for this web service attribute. And the methods, some methods you will see. All these classes are containing some common methods are there. Another one, additional methods, one or two you can find out, that is a match and is default attribute. So this is different one for web service attribute. So you go through this website of Microsoft and documentation, and then study it. The next one, web service binding attribute. So for the web service binding attribute, the same namespace system.web.services, it is used for the binding. So binding with this database, binding with the XML. Now its properties, constructor, you can see these are the different constructors. One is the default, which is having no any parameter. Another one string. Here you can pass 2 strings, 3 strings you can pass to bind it. Then properties, conforms, location, name, namespace, type ID. Methods, equal, get hash code, get type, default, match, member wise clone, and toString, the same one. Okay, so these are the public classes are present for your web services, web service namespace. So we have seen what is the structure. In the structure we have seen directive, processing directive, then namespace, this is a namespace, and then which are the different classes. So the next point, it is about the fourth one, that we will see in the next lecture, that is about the web methods. So the just methods that we have seen, one line information, so that we will study in detail in this next video. Now we will stop here, and thank you.